Hey there, economics enthusiasts. Today, I'm diving into a fascinating scenario. What if a country's dollar reserves are lower than its annual budget expenses? Specifically for countries that import most of their essentials and luxuries using dollars. Will this create a budget deficit or lead to soaring inflation? Let's unravel this puzzle. First, let's set the stage. Many nations rely heavily on the US dollar for international trade. This means their reserves in dollars are crucial for buying goods and services from abroad. But what happens when these reserves fall short? If a country's dollar reserves are insufficient, the government faces a tough choice. Should they cut spending or try to find more dollars? If they cut spending, it could mean less money for public services, infrastructure, and welfare. But if they decide to find more dollars, they might resort to borrowing from other countries or international organizations like the IMF. This can lead to increased debt and interest payments, putting more strain on the budget. Now let's talk about inflation. With fewer dollars available, the value of the local currency may drop. This depreciation makes imports more expensive. So the price of everything from food to electronics could skyrocket. When people have to spend more on these items, it creates inflation. But there's another twist. To combat the shortage, the government might print more of its own currency. But printing more money without corresponding economic growth can lead to even higher inflation. It's like adding fuel to the fire. So we have two potential outcomes, a budget deficit or rising inflation. But often, it's a mix of both. A deficit can lead to borrowing and debt, while inflation erodes purchasing power, making life harder for the average citizen. For countries heavily dependent on imports, managing dollar reserves is a balancing act. They need to ensure they have enough dollars to keep the economy running smoothly without triggering inflation. In summary, when a country's dollar reserves are less than its annual budget expenses, it can lead to either a budget deficit or increased inflation. Usually, it's a combination of both, creating a complex economic challenge. It's a delicate dance that requires careful policy decisions and strategic financial planning. And that's it for today's deep dive into the world of dollar shortages, budget deficits, and inflation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful economic content. Until next time, keep those economic gears turning.